Is there something about your art that you hate to do, which in turn you probably or ever rarely do, but you also want to grow in your art? So what were you staring at before I came into frame? Were you staring at her? Could you tell what was going on in the background? Or were you more focused on the character in the foreground? I once heard a quote from Tony Hawk when he was interviewed, and I'll insert that here. How fun is it that he gets to do something that is just basically playing around? But it's not. You know, he explains that if you really love something, you have to do the boring stuff too, or you have to do the things that you also hate. So just like that, when it comes to your art, there are going to be certain aspects that you hate to do, and you probably will never practice, but it's going to be the one thing that makes you better, and it's going to be the defining factor in how you grow. If you're constantly doing things that are always the same because you feel like you're good at it, you're not going to grow there. That's good that you're good at what you do there, but that's like a gamer who only plays on easy, and you guys know, like, if you play the game on easy and you beat the level really fast, it's not much of a challenge, so it's not as much fun. It's pretty much boring. So when you do something that you already know that you can beat, or that you already know here that you could draw, it tends to get boring. So something has to change. Not only did I go and buy Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the movie, the art of the movie, I've been following a lot of other artists and doing studies on how they do their backgrounds, because for myself, when it comes to backgrounds, I think too detailed. I think, you know, all the buildings have to be very intricate, and the windows and the doors and da 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 da. I wish I had one of my sketchbooks, because it had one of my first comics in there, and I did a background of a building. So detailed, unnecessary. Like, when I think about it now. So since buying the book, I've been doing a lot of what I hate, and that's backgrounds. That and coloring. Those two combined are things that I feel like I'm super weak at. And for a long time, I didn't like exposing it every time I had to do a background. It's like I did it and I committed to it, but I don't know, I just felt like they weren't good enough. Yeah. The expectation was really, really high. So let me show you a few things that I've been doing, that I've been working on as far as backgrounds, and, you know, really, really loving the aspect of it. So this is one, actually, we'll go in the past week. I really went hard. No. After buying this book, I really went hard on drawing, and I spent a whole week really focused on drawings that were based around backgrounds. So the first drawing that I did was of this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle on top of the rooftops, because I had just seen the Ninja Turtle movie. Now this piece took me about, I think, 6 hours to finish. I know I remember spending like 2 whole days on it, but, you know, throughout the day I would disperse like hours, take a break, hour, come back, take a break. Sometimes I would feel it, go for 2 hours, take a break. I remember staying up late till like 1 o'clock working on it, went to bed. You know, you have to take breaks, guys. It's hard to do this like all the way through. Okay, so the next piece is this guy here, which I absolutely love. This is my first one where I was taking some notes and tips from a guy named Derek Dominic D'Souza on Instagram and YouTube. If you guys are following him, go follow him. He is dope as well. But what he was trying to explain and simplify, just like this book does, as you guys can see, like, oh, it matches the background. That's kind of cool. But the big takeaway from the book and Derek Dominic D'Souza is simplify. Oh, damn it. It's the thing that you could do. That's the best thing you could do for your art, guys. If you really want to fall in love again with your art, if you feel like you're not like in a place where you really love doing art, but it is something that you do and you want to be better at it, yeah, simplify things, because it's not as complicated. We make it more complicated than we need to, basically. Again, I was just playing around with it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below of this piece. And I can tell you right now, like, with this piece, I didn't necessarily I didn't really plan it out. I kind of just started with boxes and ended up with characters in front. I was really just, again, I was trying to practice the buildings, the background, you know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. The next one, oh, I know I said I love the last one, but I love this one. This one, I knew that I wanted to have a couple. This one was a little bit more planned out than the last. I knew that I wanted to have a couple because the idea of the last one pushed over into this one. It's that same idea of the people sitting on a building in like this city world, or just they're just more in the city, but they're sitting in front of a billboard that shows nature. You know, that's where they want to be. So I went on that same idea with people standing in the rain with a billboard of a waterfall in Hawaii, and it's sunny, and it's like they'd rather be there. I think that's pretty much the idea I was going for. So this one was a little bit more planned out, which I love. Again, rate it from 1 to 10, guys. What do you think? When I did the characters, again, the characters were not super detailed, and that's another thing that I was trying to work on was, again, my characters don't have to be so super detailed. They can be simple, and so long as you have like shadows and the markings in the right place, it's easy to make out. I just think for myself as an artist, I give myself too much when I try to do detailed stuff. So I'm just trying to bring myself back down to simple stuff, basics, basic. The next piece here is the sunset. Standing in front of the sunset. This one, I was really focused on the sunset. So with this one, the big play on this one was really, I was working with strokes. You know, I wasn't trying to be meticulous of where the clouds are and where the shadows fall, but just working on strokes and where I know they fall. But yeah, this piece is, like, it's okay to me. I don't think it's like the best, but I really love the sunset. I could definitely do better in the water, but yeah, I think this one is okay, you know. The next piece here is the, like, I don't know, southwestern desert, I guess is what I called it. But on this one, I was working on using the lasso tool and creating my own shapes, and then within that I was like creating the shapes here, the shadows and everything. Again, I was just using a brush and trying to understand where the shadows would fall if the sun was falling from a certain place. This is all kinds of, I think, no, it's okay. There's a rock here. I feel like this rock and this rock, I feel like those two would have more shadow just because where the sun is at, coming from here, they wouldn't have actually shadows on them. The sun would be more hitting on this side, this side. This one is okay, I feel like, because, yeah. Anyways, these are things that I analyze, and as you should do too, is go back on your art and analyze what you've done. How could you make it better? Don't just sit there and go, man, I hate this one. This one's no good, you know? Why is it no good? What could you have done better? And then apply that to the next one. The next one here is of my sister. My sister, if you guys don't know, and you guys love Twitch, you guys like watching people stream. My sister is a streamer on Twitch. Her name is Sukineko. With the right here, Sukineko. Yeah. And she lives in Washington. So I thought that it'd be kind of cool to put her in a city space because she loves the city. My sister is a city life person. So my idea was to put her in her habitat of the city, looking at the Aurora Borealis. If you guys don't know, the Northern Lights, that's what they're called. That's what that's called, is Aurora Borealis. Standing on top of a tower, looking at the beautiful sky, having this Neko Cafe, which is, Neko Cafe is what her like Discord is. That's where she talks to all her members and you know, streaming fans. I don't know. But yeah, this one I loved because the character up close, I even love it up close too, man. I gotta say, this one was really good. I had so much fun with this one, and again, same thing, same idea here. I was using strokes. I used a masking tool, the lasso tool, to trace the shape of the character. Of course, I drew her first, but I used the lasso tool to trace her out, and then I just colored in there. So everything is just by strokes, trying to figure out where the light is and where it's falling to make her stand out, even though she's really small, you know. But the strokes here, the background here, I was using different brush strokes. I was using the idea of just doing certain strokes for windows, copying that, making it long and bigger, and then, oh, that's what she said. But making it simpler. If anything, back in the day, I would have done every window individually. But again, the background falls to the background. Remember that, guys. The background falls to the background. So if you have someone like her standing in the foreground, where does your eyes go? The focus is her. I kind of, if I stay still, I'll soon disappear. Anyways. Alright, the next one here, I did one of my homie out in Hawaii. This one was fun. You know, I was playing with it a little bit. No references here. It definitely could be better in that aspect, but, you know, I was happy with it. But I note the things that I could do better. This last one has to be my favorite, guys. This Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen standing on top of the Golden Gate Bridge and staring at San Francisco in the background. So I had just watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and in that one, there's a scene where Spider-Man takes Gwen up to the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's nighttime, so they're overlooking Brooklyn. I thought that was a pretty cool shot, so I thought it'd be fun to do one of them standing on top of the Golden Gate Bridge overlooking New York. So this one has to be by far my favorite. And I feel like this one has definitely, when I look at that one, it's definitely, I could see the growth in my background shots. I could show you this one, and then versus, I'll show you one of my first backgrounds that I did on digital. That's the background right there. And I could chalk it up to immaturity in Procreate. I was only using a couple pens and pencils, so, and then the smudge tool, I didn't necessarily work on it as much. See these smudges here? I did not like how that turned out, and as you can see, it's nowhere else because I had quit, and I boxed it off with a square. It was gonna be a huge window, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be done with it, box it off, and just leave it at that. Have not touched it since. This is back in what? Let's see. November 12th, so almost a year. Again, everything happened in November, I guess. That's when I started drawing. Man, November, okay. But yeah, anyways, so that's what I've been working on more lately because, you know, when it comes down to my growth, I want my art to have dimension, not just character drawing. I love my character drawing because I love drawing characters, so character design, for sure, I'm all over it, but backgrounds, I can't say that I am. You know, and I want to feel the same way that I do about characters, that I love drawing characters. I want to feel the love for backgrounds as well. And quite honestly, ever since a week ago, since I've been practicing drawing backgrounds, I can honestly say that I'm starting to feel the love, you know, like every time I pull out, every time I start a new canvas, there's a background in my thought first before the character. The character is there for sure, but the character is such a minuscule subject Just like the Spider-Man here, he started off pretty big, but then I shrank him. I did some detail on Spider-Man, but you can't see it with how small they are. So the subject matter is really the bridge and the background. You know, with all of them, the subject is the background, the subject, the people that are in it are just there, you know, to add more dimension to the drawing. So I hope you guys found this video useful, and if there is something that you guys don't like doing as far as your art, I guarantee you if you visit it, you know, and you spend time with it, you're gonna learn something that you really love about it. You know, it's just like, sometimes it's like a friend. Sometimes you don't like a friend at first, you know, like, oh man, that person's annoying. I can say this about my best friend. I did not like him at first. He was annoying. He was always making jokes that just weren't funny. He sat in the back, and I just always rolled my eyes every time he spoke, because I was just like, man, this guy's just trying to show off. But I was his best man at his wedding. In the end, I learned to love the guy. I get it now. You know, he was new like me. He came from Hawaii, I came from Florida. We were brand new to the school, so he was really just trying to make friends, you know. So again, spend time with it. You guys will never know what you can find out of it, and that's how you're gonna grow. So don't be afraid to visit things that are uncomfortable for you. So if you want to get better at your art, visit the things that you don't like. Try it for like 2 weeks. You know, I gave myself a week, and within that week, I found some love for it. Man, seriously did. All right, you guys, I'm gonna end the video right here. I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you guys found this video helpful, let me know by hitting that like button down below, because it really does help out the channel. And if you're not subscribed already and you guys have been watching the videos, you know, you might consider hitting the subscribe button, because it's just easier. Plus you can hit that notification bell just in case you didn't know, and it'll notify you every time I make a new video, instead of you having to search, you know, and just waiting for it to pop up on your feed, you know, on your like For You page. You know, one thing you could do is just, I don't know, hit that subscribe button and then hit that notification bell, because yeah, it makes it easier for you and me. You know, we ain't got to trip about it no more, you know. Alright, you guys, peace and double grease.